Hey guys, day 231. This week I'm running with a new idea to get in front of more customers with Project Runicorn. So let me walk you through the context of that decision and my hypothesis. Okay, to get you guys back into context, I'd really recommend checking out my last video, day 224. I've walked you guys through the changes I've seen in the internet throughout my career and how it's hard to be at the right place at the right time. Check out that video if you haven't. It's at 4 minutes and 54 seconds. I talked about how my problem right now is that the internet has gotten really crowded and I'm still trying to break through the herd in order to get seen and get some momentum. I've been pushing Project Runicorn, which is a code name for a product that I've yet to name because I'm waiting on customer validation before I name it. And I'm trying to find companies who basically want a really simple way to collect job applications on their website and bypass all of the complications and the high costs associated with most applicant tracking systems. So Project Runicorn is basically a very, very simple way to have job openings on your site. But it's been really hard to get the ball rolling there. And I'm just having a hard time getting myself in front of people. So like I mentioned in my last video, some of the examples of inflection points in the internet history are the arrival of Web 2.0 apps in the early 2000s and the iPhone and the app stores that came out of that in around 2007, 2008. Bitcoin and crypto are another good example. And I've never caught one of these waves. I've always come in after, which makes it really hard to get noticed. So this has me thinking about app marketplaces. App marketplaces are a relatively new concept. They've been around for a bit, but they're getting more refined and a little more popular. Some examples of these marketplaces are Wix, Bubble, Shopify. The idea with these marketplaces is that these low-code or no-code platforms want their users to be able to host their entire website on their platform without hiring an engineer. They've created these marketplaces for apps where their users can buy extensions to make their site do just what they would need it to do. This is really close to my target customer. Smaller companies who don't have a complicated tech setup. So here's my hypothesis. I want to put Project Runicorn out on these marketplaces and see if I can tap the audience that's already there. Basically, it's a product-focused way of finding customers. So I've been trying to find customers through outreach, and it's not been going super well. So this is a way to do it in a product-focused way, trying to tap into new audiences. Here's some examples of some marketplaces. This is Shopify's app store. Here are some random apps that are on Shopify. And I could be listed right here. So I could, let's search for job. So we've got these are what's on the store so far. 120 results is not bad. I can get listed in there pretty well. Probably can do some pretty good SEO to get listed. The Wix market, this is for Wix. Let's try it. There's only a couple on here, so I feel like this is another really good spot. And Bubble is another one. There's really only one plugin right here, so I have a very good chance at that. Question is going to be, will people be searching for these plugins? So there's definitely a big question about that. But in terms of competition, it feels like it's pretty nice and quiet, but it is validated. There is a job board on Shopify and Wix. That's a good sign. So here's some really great things about this strategy. The best scenario would be I put these things on the marketplace and the audience just comes to me. And then from there, I can iterate, adjust, and pivot and basically work with that momentum. If the audience doesn't automatically come with these platforms, I still have created a whole new marketing surface and a new way to find customers. So in addition to saying, does your website need a job board? I can actually target Shopify customers or Wix customers and say, I have a direct extension that works with this. You can just drop it into your app. And another nice thing about this idea, this strategy, is if I can't get users to this idea, so maybe if I'm finding people, but I'm not really making headway with this idea, I still will have created a very solid infrastructure for pushing out new ideas on these platforms, which will open me up for products that solve other customer problems that I can find. So I've been researching these marketplaces and trying to decide which ones are going to make the most sense to list my product on. And I want to start with Shopify. The main reason for that is last year I set up my wife with a shop on Shopify for her blanket business that just started. And I learned to love Shopify's system. And I even got a little bit into the coding behind it. And this also gave me real experience of actually running a shop. So it's an ecosystem that I'm already familiar with. This week, I spent the whole week creating the minimal amount of product I can to put Project Runicorn on Shopify. As of right now, I'm going to call it Job Shop. I'm done with the actual functionality. It's really now time to package this up. Okay, so to remind you guys what Project Runicorn looks like, this is my website for it. And if you scroll down to the bottom of this page, you can see a demo in action. So this is the sort of fake jobs that I've created, and we can apply to these jobs just by clicking this button. We can submit our application or our resume and our application and then get some confirmation emails. So that's what I'm trying to add to these marketplaces. And here's where I've got so far. So this is my Shopify test store, and I've added my application here, Job Shop, and it basically lets you create and edit these job descriptions. So I can fill them out, set them to open, close, create new ones, and decide who's the hiring manager for each of these jobs. And then in the Shopify theme editor, over here, I've created an app block, and you can add my app. I'm calling it job openings for right now. So I've added it right here to the middle of the page. I've created a headline ahead of it. I've basically injected my widget into the store. So when you go to the site, this is my test store. It loads right here, and it's very easy to just apply to these jobs. So just like we saw over here, but I've injected it into Shopify, made it super, super easy. It's just drag and drop. The challenges that came with this were kind of interesting. In order to make this very, very fast for people, like if you refresh this page, you'll see that it loads instantly, even though it's an injected thing. So for that to work so fast, it's got to be cached. And for it to be cached, it means it's harder to customize. So I had to extend it and work with ways to override and customize things. So for instance, the color, if the user changes a color now, it's going to re-render and my widget will figure that out. So it can easily change colors to whatever the user wants. You can inherit the font from your theme. You can add the padding, change all these, the button text, so apply today, and create a thank you message for people who do submit. And I also had to make sure that this worked with the editor so that you could see the jobs, but also that it was like semi-functional. So I've created a design mode. So whenever you're in this designer, it actually doesn't submit the application. It's just faking it so that you can see the thank you message, so that you can customize this however you'd like. So that was a lot of work. And also that's work that probably only needs to be done once. So I can repeat this now for all those shops that I work on. I've already written that code for it. So it's going to give me a huge leg up on that. And it's also going to make actually the app itself, this app here, it's going to give me a leg up here, because whenever I do need to build a designer to help people customize how their widget's going to look, I will have already written that code. So this is really nice, reusable code here. And just to show you how easy it is with Shopify, you can drag this around so easily. You can just place it where you want to place it. I can, move my heading above it. I can change the spacing on this. I'm still kind of working on the app icon, because I basically took a screenshot of their marketplace and tried to plug in and see what my app would look like. So the one I've got right now is this kind of simple icon that gives you a taste of what the app does. But then, and it looks really good here, I think it stands out pretty nicely. But what I don't like about it, as I just noticed, is the icon here looks, you can't even tell what it is. So I may have to rethink how I do that icon, or maybe they give me a chance to do separate icons for the listing page as well as the actual app itself. All right, you guys, that's it for this week. Thank you so much. Next week, I really hope to be listed in the marketplace on Shopify. Let's see how that goes. Bye.